We're about ready to go. Everybody ready? This is the time and place for the City Commission meeting here in South Dakota on October 16th at 5:30. Roll call, please.
Smith.
Here.
Weinreich.
Here.
Bragg.
Here.
Harvey.
Here.
Mayor Harrington.
Here. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, agenda approval. Is there any additions or deletions to our agenda tonight from the commission?
Move to approve.
Move to approve. Commissioner Harvey, move to approve. Need a second.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Smith. Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Weinreich.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Moving on to public forum. Public forum is limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per person. Please state your name and address for the record. Is there anybody here other than, I don't see anybody here other than the commission. I know Commissioner Bragg's got a public forum message, so you can go ahead with that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So these letters have been out there regarding the water meter changes, and tomorrow, the 17th, is the start date. So there were 992 letters sent out. So far, 359 appointments have been set up. These meter changes do require folks to come into the home. That's why they need to be pre-scheduled. However, they are just doing the south part of the city at this time. They're scheduled up through November 10th to start with. So just a couple pieces of information. First of all, we wanted to make sure if you have questions, please contact the 800 number on the letter, which for a reminder is 844-741-6248. And that's toll-free and available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And that will help schedule the appointment and any other questions. The folks will need to be in the home, but it should not take long at all to get it set up. And again, if you did not receive a letter, that's okay. Not every part of the city has. Just be patient. We will get letters out. There may be a chance, as they're running ahead of schedule, that they will start going door to door to knock, but to start with, here for the first bit, they will all be done via the scheduled appointments. So once again, south part of town, that will start tomorrow. And if you did get one of those letters and have not called in, we ask you please right away to call that toll-free number and schedule your appointment. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Bragg. Any other commissions have any more for public forum? I have one. For the record, Lanny Olson withdrew his variance to subdivide a lot with 3 acres, and there's no other request for this parcel of land. That was before the Planning Commission last week, so we will not be having a Planning Commission on that item because Lanny withdrew his variance request. Okay. All right, moving on to consent agenda. Matters appearing on the consent agenda are expected to be non-controversial and be acted upon by the commission at one time without discussion, unless a member of the commission requests an opportunity to address any given item. Items removed from the consent agenda will be discussed at the beginning of the formal items. 4.1, minutes of the October 2nd, 2023 City Commission meeting. 4.2, field quotes for city departments. 4.3, November 6th, on public hearing date to consider transferring a retail on-sale liquor license for Columbus Club of Huron Incorporated, Knights of Columbus, 565 21st Street Southeast, to Columbus Club of Huron Incorporated, Knights of Columbus, at 425 21st Street Southwest. 4.4, payment of the bills. I entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Move to approve consent.
Commissioner Bragg moves to approve. Need a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Weinreich. Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Weinreich.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Okay. Bid quote items. I'm going to call on our assistant city engineer, Dennis, to go over 5.1 for us.
Okay, thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. 5.1 is a change order for the parking ramp project. When we exposed the storm sewer, it had a sag in it, and this is to fix that sag. This is not included in the payment coming up, though.
I'll make a motion to approve 5.1 and the increase of $3,500.
Motion to by Commissioner Weinrich,
Second.
second Commissioner Harvey. Any discussion on this item? No? Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Weinrich.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. 5.2, Dennis.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. 5.2 is just a progress payment for the parking ramp, so recommend approval.
Okay, need a motion to approve.
I would make a motion to approve the progress payment.
Commissioner Bragg, motion to approve. Need a second on this item.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Smith. Any discussion on this item for Dennis?
What's the
Yes, Commissioner.
timeline?
Mr. Bragg.
Just a quick timeline update if we could.
They have until the end of October to get it ready for parking, and I don't foresee any problems with that. Asphalt paving will be there next week and pave the south half, so we will have hard surface parking in half of it over the winter.
Very good.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. See no other discussion on this item. Roll call vote, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Weinrich.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. All right, moving on to departmental items. And 8.1, we're going to call on Dennis again to discuss what 8.1 is.
Okay, thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. This is for some old RCP culvert we have out at the solid waste department. Someone was interested in it. The appraisal committee met and we agreed to value of $25 per section. So recommend approval to sell 4 sections for $25.
Need a motion on this item?
Move to approve.
Motion. Mr. Commissioner Smith moves to approve, second by Commissioner Weinrich. Any other discussion on this item?
Mayor, I have a question, please.
Yes, Commissioner Smith,
I
yes.
just got asked, that is $25 for a culvert, I mean, is it because of limited use, or?
What it is, it's the concrete barrel sections, but the ends of it and stuff have been broke off. So to use it in a good section, and they're only 4-foot chunks.
Oh, it's
It's
really a short piece then?
Yes,
Oh,
yes. They're concrete, but they're short chunks and the ceiling ends are damaged, so we don't want them under our streets.
got it.
They've been out there since I started here, I believe.
I was mine too.
Been there a long time.
That was my question too. So they've been there for a long time. Okay. Need a roll call vote on this item.
Smith.
Aye.
Weinrich.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. All right, we're moving right along here. 8.2, and I'm going to call on our Mr. Doug to come up.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. Thanks for giving me the time to come and visit with you a little bit tonight. I do have with me tonight Dr. Erin Fulberg. She is Vice President of Academic Affairs for Northern State University. She's the person, she's my direct contact person up on Northern's campus, and really the author of this grant that we're looking at using for the Fine Arts Building. So we started a conversation with Northern State University, our provider of general study courses here in Huron, to discuss a Northern Academy, is what we're calling it. They have it operating on their campus. They have Eric Klein is the executive director of it on their campus, and it's a transition courses for students coming out of high school using dual credit to receive college credit and high school credits, but to actually come to their campus and take the courses. Okay, and it's a grant-funded program. So when we looked at it, and Dr. Fulberg approached us on doing this, we looked at, okay, can we offer these classes at a different time than in the evening when we traditionally do it? Traditionally, high school students are not always in favor of taking night classes when we throw dual credit at high school students, so we're looking at possibly offering these classes at a different time. Along with that, when we had a focus group here in Huron, and Commissioner Smith was at the focus group, one of the things that came out of it is being able to identify Huron Community Campus, the campus center, the fine arts building, as a college presence, more than just a building with classrooms and desks and chairs in them, to have more of a college feel to that. Okay, how are we going to do that? We need to brand the place, bring Northern in as a branding concept into the buildings. So Dr. Folberg, as I said, put together this grant. We have a couple different paths that we want to present to students. If we want to start on the business, we would offer dual credit classes during the day and have them geared towards the track of being in the business world. Education, we can do the same thing. We do have a local professor, that is Northern State University's professor. She does live here in Huron, English comp, speech class, intro to lit, those types of courses we're already offering in the evening. We have availability to professors, so we could offer those classes at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, if you will. General Psych is another course that we could offer in the afternoon, never interrupting what we're doing in the evening, adding to what we're offering to give a college feel to it, maybe make it enticing for high school students to come during the afternoon, during the morning, to take those dual credit classes. We've met with Dr. Steinoff and his administrative team already. We have another meeting coming up, I believe it's next week sometime, like the 26th, with Dr. Steinoff. We've met with the local area superintendents, the Hitchcocks, the Iroquois, Woonsocket, Weston Springs, Dolan. Those are the ones that come up that we met with already, discussing this concept. Would their students be willing to come? Could we have them come to Huron? It works very nicely with what Dr. Steinoff is looking at as far as the CTE courses are concerned. We have them here taking a CTE course. They can take that. The availability of a face-to-face dual credit class would really enhance everybody's program. So what I'm coming to you tonight is, since Campus Center, and more important, not more importantly, but maybe more focused on the Fine Arts Building, is a effort to brand the building a little bit more. Not that we want to go exclusive to Northern State University, but Northern State University is stepping up and saying, let's make this look a little bit more northern. Let's have Northern State University at Huron as a satellite campus, which would entail some signage inside and outside the building. Met with a Northern's sign guy this last week and talked about some things, looked at some different wraps in the classroom, if you will. But I wanted to make sure you guys were on board and you guys were informed of what we're doing and what we're looking at doing and how we wish to do that. Dr. Folberg, anything you would like to share?
Hi, thanks for having me, commissioners. The thing I'd like to add is that I think we learned over the last few years that being on campus and having that on-campus face-to-face class, as you all have been doing at Huron Community Campus since its inception, is a really valuable way to learn. And that transition to college that used to happen back when I went to college, everybody showed up as a freshman and nobody had any credits done, so everybody could kind of go through that transition together. Dual credits changed that. So students are coming up to college, wherever they go to college, and they might have 9 credits done. I had a student once who had 42 credits done. Sometimes you have a student who has an associate's degree already done before they set foot on a college campus. And so there's not that wraparound support of the transition to college, and which is so important in that development and that adulthood independence that occurs through that transition. So we're trying through the Northern Academy, what we're doing on campus in Aberdeen is we're bringing that transition to the students who are in their dual credit years during their junior and senior year. And we're looking at expanding this grant to Huron and doing the same thing here. So we would have wraparound support services. We already provide tutoring and things like that to the students who are taking Northern courses at Huron Community Campus. But here we would make it more obvious, and we would have our folks come down and or meet with Zoom to make sure that students had all the supports that they would get if they were on a college campus. And then the director of the program here at Huron would be providing, mentorship to those students. And we have a career pathways person as part of this grant. And Doug talked about how we would help students start to look at career pathways, possible career pathways, but our career pathways person would have some of those one-on-one conversations that all the high school counselors in the state and around the country are already overworked. That they have a lot more complexities that they're working with than any of us actually probably can imagine. And so choosing a career path, choosing a college is not necessarily something every high school counselor has time to talk with every single high school student about. So part of this grant too is to have that career pathways person be a resource with the counselor, not replace them. So that career pathways person is in Aberdeen, and she would work with the Huron students too, but right now she's just been in her position for 5 weeks, and what she's done those first 5 weeks is mostly spend time with the high school counselors to try and make sure that what she's doing isn't conflicting with what they're doing. And then she's working with our career director at Northern to try and make sure that all the assessments that we already pay for as a university that our students can take to help you discern what career you might like, that those are being given to our Northern Academy students too. And so we would extend some of those opportunities to the students in Huron as well. So we just wanted to make it feel more like that college transition that many of us had when we went to campus for the first time as first-year students. But that's going to happen, junior and senior year of high school instead of necessarily freshman year of college. So.
All the things that we're continuing to do is just to enhance the programs that we're already offering, not replacing anything. We've enhanced academic advising. We now have an academic advisor comes down 4 times a year to meet with the students, so that's a huge step. We have an admissions person that is on the campus twice a month, so that has added a home base for an admissions person to meet in the Fine Arts Building. So this would just be another step of enhancing the program that we're already offering.
And just one point of clarification, it wouldn't be officially a satellite campus because that adds like a whole nother level of accreditation, so we're not going there. It's just, it would continue to be a location for Northern.
Satellite campus.
And every time he introduces me, he gives me a promotion too.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yes, good, Mr. Myers.
You keep referencing the word grant. So is this something you have to apply for and get approved?
Good
and what does
question,
that kind
thank
of
you.
look like?
So the South Dakota Education Access Foundation is a foundation that gave Northern a grant about, it was April, what year am I in, 2022, that I applied for and received that grant. It started in July 2022, so we're a year plus into that grant. We didn't spend all of our budget for year one. It's a 3-year grant. And so when I did the grant report in June, I said I'd like to be able to come back to the South Dakota Education Access Foundation and talk about repurposing some of the unexpended funds from year one to expand to Huron if it's something Huron wants to do. Because I see it as a really valuable resource for Huron because I know teacher shortages, nurse shortages, all of those shortages that every community is feeling. It's easier when we grow our own, and what I'd like to do is help Huron grow their own teachers, and I see this, and grow your own nurses, and I see this as an opportunity to be part of the workforce solution in Huron too. So the application isn't, from the beginning, it's really just like a rebudgeting. And that's why our sign guy came, because as I rebudget, I want to make sure I'm budgeting correctly. So if it's something that you are amenable to, I'm asking for the right amount of money. But there are funds there. I just need to get approval from that granting agency to expend them toward this way. And then there's an opportunity for year 4 funding, depending on what we find out from year 3, year 2 and 3. So Aberdeen's in year 2 of the grant. It's really our first fall with students on campus for the Northern Academy, because it took a long time to find the right director, and then it took a long time to for him to really sow the seeds. But the nice thing about Huron is I think we can get going faster because we've already got this partnership in place between the university and the high school, and Dr. Steinhoff is really supportive of this idea. He wants students to leave the Huron High School campus, come to the Huron Community Campus, come to the campus center, feel like, behave like, experience like they're at Northern while they're there. Get the supports of a college campus while they're there, and the feel of a college campus. He's gonna have to get a foosball table probably. And we're gonna have to figure out coffee.
I'll do my little part.
But then, and then come to, hopefully come to Northern or anywhere to finish their college degree, because that's really the idea. It's called an early college experience. And the idea is to get students to think about college and not just get the credits done, but start to think about who am I, what do I want to do, what do I want to be, how am I going to get there, and what's it going to look like. And we're hoping that the answer is that they come back to Huron if they do come to Northern to finish their degree.
It sounds like a really simple conversation, the transition part of it and all that. And students leaving the high school and coming to the Fine Arts Building to HCC, it all seems like a simple conversation, but when we got into it, we spent a lot of time visiting about what is that transition, why are students comfortable as a junior in high school showing up with college students that are 20, 21, 22, non-traditional, 24, 25 years old. And like I said, the other part of the conversation was leaving the high school campus and coming to the Fine Arts Building. It was a huge conversation that we had to discuss that whole point.
Any other questions for?
You mentioned, I know you guys have a tremendous partnership already with like Lake Area Tech and Northern working together cooperatively on the different courses, but do you have any concerns if we brand it too much as Northern that folks that are coming there for those other courses will feel out of place? Or?
Northern is not, they're not asking for exclusive marketing in the building. If Southeast Tech or Lake Area or whatever, if we're offering programs through there, want to do something similar, absolutely. I'd love to do it, love to have all the different things presented in the building, absolutely.
I think it's a great idea because I know you have shared before, we haven't had as much success as we would like. It's been great, but getting the high school kids to get into that path, sometimes
Yep.
we're not on their radar. This sounds like obviously they're gonna love to get off campus and get away. And so that all of a sudden gets them into that conduit, and then once they're there,
Yep.
it's much easier. They're used to going to that building, taking those other classes after they graduate. So I commend you on that play, and I think it's a great idea, and I think the branding of Northern Academy is great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, any
Go ahead, Don.
other,
I don't have any questions, Mayor, but I do want to thank Dr. Fogler for your efforts in working with Huron campus. I know you've been highly involved with that with Doug, and it shows. And with the interaction with Northern, along with the other schools that we work with,
Thank
but
you.
definitely Northern's probably been first and foremost in showing interest in helping cultivate a relationship with Huron Community Campus. Looking forward to good things.
Thank you.
she even took the night off. She is the city, Dr. Fulberg is city commissioner in Aberdeen, so she had to miss her meeting tonight. Had to beg a little bit to get her. Wasn't too bad.
It's all right, I read the agenda, it wasn't very exciting.
I'm pretty fortunate because I've been around for so long that I was here when it started, your feelings and everything. And it always impresses me how you never sit still. You're always moving, doing something else. And this, I was sitting there thinking about it tonight when you were rattling it all off and going, my God, he's not sitting still again.
No.
So I really appreciate the effort by both of you to
Thank
do
you.
that. And we look forward to coming off this way. We really do. It's a great opportunity for our kids. I had a granddaughter that finished a year ahead of graduation because she did it all in high school, like you
Right,
said.
right.
And a lot cheaper that way too.
It is, but what we're finding is a lot of times students don't necessarily, they might love social sciences, so they take, 4 classes that all count toward the same general education goal. And then they get to college and they're like, well, I guess I lapped that requirement, but, so we're being really intentional about making sure our students who are at Huron Community Campus are being advised, because their professional advisor will say, look, you've completed the social science goal. If you really love it, let's think about a major in X, Y, or Z. But if you want to complete your general education, we need to go over here and take this course that completes a different goal. So even just advising in high school dual credit is really important. And it's not unique to Huron, but students everywhere like to take advice from each other more than than the professional advisors or their parents necessarily about what classes to take and how to take them. But we think having our northern professor here on campus is a big deal, and because she's holding office hours and all the traditional things that you see on a college campus. So we even would like to try to get, one idea that came out of the focus group that we had earlier this summer was to try to get some clubs, like a Huron Community Campus club recognized by the university. And what could that club do? Have some activities down here and things like that. So we want it to feel more like a campus and get people excited about college, because college isn't just about earning your degree, it's also that whole growing up into an adult part, and we need to make sure we're providing that for students too.
Very good. Anything else from the Commission?
Thank you.
Well, thank you for your presentation.
Yes,
Thanks.
thank you, and
I'm
I
sure we'll
look
hear
forward
from
to
you
moving
again.
forward with this project.
Yeah, you can, for sure. All right, we're gonna move on to a work session.